I'm back. Back in the New York groove. Don't know the words to this song. Oi, oi, okay. Waiting for... okay. Guess who's back, baby? Expect a low energy stream today, despite this being the return of the king, basically, for my channel. Even though our fight was pretty good, I just lost interest the last 2 weeks of it. Spoiler. So yeah, I can hear my DeviantArt audience applauding for the return, even though I haven't told them yet. You know what, actually, I should make an announcement right now on DeviantArt, real quick. Post status update picture with the thumbnail of this live stream. And just say, oh, where are the eyes emojis? And then the stream settings, backup streamer URL, backup streamer URL. That is not, hold up. I'm a professional. I'm actually not, because professionals get paid for what they do. That's all the definition of a professional is someone who gets paid for what they're doing. Get that stream, copy, paste. Got it. Submit. It's like 10 o'clock at night here, so no one's gonna see this. Get rid of chat poll. Here we go. Alright. Get my glove back on because for some reason I keep taking it off completely instead of just slipping it off my fingers. I don't know either, so I can't tell you why. As always, to avoid spoilers, the text will not be appearing. You know, I'm gonna turn that off so I know what layer I'm working on. Now, apologies for my yawning. It's been one of those weeks. Even though it's Monday. I don't know what to tell you either. So the scheming part of me thought it'd be fun if I, like, in the future, start every stream with a song. Doesn't have to be related or anything. It's just getting like a singing bit out of me. But then, like, reality came in and kicked my ass. It's like, when do I actually ever have the motivation to stick with anything, even if it's my idea? God dang it. Then I don't want to make promises I can't keep, so I try and not make promises. that and the number short keys are connected with my Medibang. So it activates these little guys whenever I hit the numbers. And I don't know how to turn it off because the settings button is a joke. I don't know how to turn it off. And I don't want to use, I don't want to use letters like I did last time because I would type. You know, if I need to type something up real quick, that would always activate the thingy, and it was really annoying. So which annoying thing do I want to deal with? I mean, the one worked, so we can get our coffee. And I think I'm just gonna have to, I'll just have to deal with it, because any other time I hit the button, like, I don't realize what it activates. Yeah, I'm gonna blur along the way. I just realized Art Fight literally ends in 2 hours. So now if there are any tryhards out there that are still uploading or anything, you know, whatever, to each his own, but please don't post an attack in the last 2 hours of Art Fight. Now if you're posting like last minute revenges, then that's fine because that's a revenge. But if someone's posting an attack, I mean, I can't. I have to revenge it. I have to avenge every attack that comes my way. So when you're attacking the last 12 hours, what are you doing, man? You think everyone is gonna be up at that hour to see and approve of your attack? Well, I'm up at this hour, but I'm not most people. God. You ever hear those neo-normals say that, oh, if I had another copy of me, I could get so much done? And it's like, oh, you innocent child. Do you not know the ways of the mind and the humanity's competitive nature? And it's not just that, it's... If I had 2 of me, I would be twice the procrastinator. Twice the... Well, not procrastination, because that... I hate to say procrastinator because it implies laziness, and oh my god. Okay, mic was on. Whew. Almost had a panic attack. Yeah, again, twice the panic attacks phone. I know. But is it really that necessary? You're just posting the shit in it. Alright. So, if I had another me around, we wouldn't get anything done. When we were motivated, that would be nice, but I feel like our motivation would be, wouldn't match up. So it'd be one person who's super motivated to get something done, and the other person's like, man, I don't even know why I'm existing on this planet right now. I don't even know why. It doesn't seem like I'm achieving anything. And they're like, well, you're not going to achieve anything if you keep laying around like that. But it's like, yeah, but the world is on fire right now, and it's literally ending. What's the point of doing anything at all? And then the other part of me is saying, hey, the world is on fire, it's ending. Do something about it. And it's like, I literally cannot do anything about it. It is outside the realm of my control. So, what am I can't do anything about it. The most logical explanation, the next step for something, for dealing with a thing we have no control over, is to panic about it. Right. Yeah, so I don't need therapy at all. Everyone needs therapy. Even if you think you're okay, that means you need therapy more than... It's like, I don't need therapy, I'm normal. It's like, you need therapy more than most people do. With that kind of mentality. Red flag! Right, okay. Let's straight... Man, it has been a while since I've done comics. Now this is a few pages ahead, because I already got the first 2 pages done. So this is me already getting back into it. But those first 2 pages, man, whew, I'm still trying to get back into it. I'm like half a month ahead. No, sorry, I'm 3 weeks ahead. No, 2. I'm 2 weeks ahead. I've got this week done. Okay, 2 weeks ahead of this week, and it has been a while since I've done comics. It's like, you know, when I... Okay, that's how we do it. When I announced that the hiatus was coming up, I had already finished the comics that were being posted like a month in advance. Which is why I decided I need to take a break, because I've worked a month in advance and this is a good place to stop for a while. But at that, so I was still posting, but I was done and working on other things in the meantime. And then I announced the hiatus. Then that was an extra month. Luckily, I did work a little bit ahead on the script, but not by much, because I was also working on a different project at the time before I realized, oh, July's almost over. I should probably get back at it. Because I thought I was going to be working on a different project, but I decided to kind of save that project for fall and whatnot. Because it is kind of an urban fantasy fall autumn spooky season vibe series. Well, franchise, I should say. It's multiple series. And I feel like if I'm working on it now, despite being in the mood for it, I'm gonna be wanting fall more when it's in summer. So that'll make me just more miserable for the next 2 months. So I figured, you know what? I'm just going to not make myself miserable on purpose. And just get back to this for a while. Because in summer, I work nights. And with Gatesville, my urban fantasy story, I work on that with my sister. And she doesn't work nights. So it was just kind of like, the whole time I was working on it, I felt like I was doing everything, and that it was, none of us were getting anything done, even though we got a bit done. It was mostly just me working on references, because it was driving me crazy the way they looked. And I wrote ahead on a few stories. I mean, a few, just a little bit. But it still wasn't enough as what would have been getting done if we had worked together on that. So I'm waiting for the fall season to come around again when we're both awake at the same time, so we can work on it together. So that, you know what, I'll get back to Path to Brighter Stars. Because it's just me on this It's just me on this project. Which is probably why it's gonna take me 5 years to finish this stupid thing. Because, like an idiot, I decided it needed to be multiple parts long. Oh, shit. However, I think I can get away with shortening a few parts because I don't have them all scripted. I don't even have part 1 scripted. Because this is only halfway through part 1. Well, maybe a little more than half, but I'm not sure. I need to get back to scripting it, which I will be working on when I'm not streaming. When I'm not streaming, I will be working on sketches and strips. And possibly some line art if I'm like, okay, I got like 3 sketches done. I'm still got time to do work, and I've kind of hit a roadblock on the writing. I'll just do a bit of line art and maybe I'll come up with something. So that's what I'm gonna do for the rest of August and most of September. I'm not sure how far in, because I don't remember when fall starts. I mean, sure, fall can officially start any day it likes, but when I'm waiting for like the actual fall weather to come around, because then that's when I'm actually in a good mood. Oh yeah, sure, moving to Texas would be a wonderful idea for our family and getting our business done. Then I remember the South does not have autumn. Autumn does not exist in the South. It's all summer. And I guess the winter is fine there, but it's just I can't deal with the Texas power grid. I can't deal with it not working half the time. We've had 2 power outages here this month. And both of them lasted for like 4 hours. Now, we were fine because they didn't affect us that much, but like it's not that hot here. If we experienced a power outage like that in, say, Texas or California, we would have died. No 2 ways about that. Here's the thing. I mean, most of Texas power outages happen in the winter, which it's not that cold in Texas winter. Let's be honest. Well, in comparison to what I'm used to, it's not that cold. For Texas, yeah, it's cold for them. I'm not gonna make fun of them for not withstanding the winter, but still, I get into a rant, but it's not really a rant. I just don't understand why Texas doesn't fix their power grid. Like, why... I don't understand what the issue is, why they keep having issues, and why it hasn't been addressed. Because it seems like, oh, their grid can't stand the strain of the extra, during the winter. So, I'm just, okay, how do we fix this? That would be like if I ever came into power in Texas, that would be the first thing I'd figure out. Screw any of this other legal stuff. No, put that to the side. We need to take care of the well-being of our people first. What the hell is the issue, dear, with the... Oh, I forgot this one. With the power grid, because this is ridiculous. Oh, that's actually... Oops. Needs to be down here. I guess Washington has spoiled me when it comes to power. in electricity because we got all the dams up in Washington. So our power grid is very secure. It's just sometimes the connectors or conductors, whatever they're called. The dams always have power. It's just sometimes the power stations that transfer said power get a little wonky. I'll just blur this beforehand. You know what's also hell? I got a bunch of 40s era, 40s, 50s era fall theme music going through my head at, most of the time. And it's really got me in a mood to wear jackets and drink warm drinks and talk about ghosts and ghoulies, but no one's in the mood for that. It's like Shark Week just happened. We haven't even started August. I mean, we will in 2 hours, but, in the Gordon calendar, in the Judaic calendar, it's already August because our days start from sundown to sundown. There we go. Okay. How does the back of his head work with this? I don't know. I had this figured out a few pages ago, but shh, spoilers. Hang on, let me check older pages. Redraft, comics, Panther Stars, pages, published. For page 3, his cheek lefts were pointing the other way. Oh no, they weren't. It just went straight down and didn't show it. Okay. A part of me kind of wants to revisit these old pages and redraw them, but at the same time, I don't want to put myself through that hell. Because why would I? This whole project is just a time capsule for my learning process. So, why put myself through that misery? Everyone... No, they have different colors. Shoot. These ears aren't even in half these shots. Okay, never mind. I did no promises. I'm gonna try and get this page ready for rendering before I end. But also, depending on how I'm feeling, because I also haven't been feeling aces, I might also start lining the other page. But then again, yeah, no promises. We're gonna see how I feel after getting this page done. At the very least, mostly done. He's only mostly dead. So there's a difference between mostly dead and all dead. If y'all don't know what that line is from, I'm sorry, we can't be friends. And at the very least, you gotta be willing to see what that line is from. Nose and ears. Oh, blessed bucket tool. Beloved by all. I got the saxophone from... Is it a saxophone? Yeah, it's a saxophone. Okay. If you didn't catch the song I was singing earlier, it's called Nightmare. I don't remember who it's from. Like, if someone said her name, I'd say, yeah, it's her. But I don't remember. But if you want to look it up on YouTube, just type in Celery Stalks at Midnight, and it just should pop right up. It's a really good song. Nice jazz. And it's running through my head right now. But I don't know half the words. Which is also hell, being a mostly auditory learner. Wait a minute. Oh, shoot, I got that backwards. Being a mostly auditory learner, say, oh yeah, I got the... If I hear something, I'll remember and retain it. But I also have ADHD, so I'll only half remember and retain it. Which is just, ugh. You have like 2 notes of an obscure song going through your head, and you're like, I can't hum this for the Google song detection because I don't have enough in my memory. Or especially, it's really difficult when you have a song stuck in your head and you can't hum it because it doesn't have a perceivable melody, or it's just in the back of your head where when you try to focus on it to hum it, it just doesn't, it doesn't come. It doesn't step forward. It doesn't step forward and say, I'm Spartacus, because it's not that movie. Especially, it's like, oh, why don't you just Google it? It's like, oh yeah, sure, Google movie with ambiance of maybe a French horn, maybe. It's like, just because I took 3 years of band in middle school, that doesn't mean I actually know any of the instruments or how to read music. My school was dirt poor, okay? What the teacher could buy with her salary is what we had. And what we had was 2 pianos. Actually, we had 3 pianos, but we weren't allowed to use one because it was hers. 2 drum sets, like 1,000,000 trumpets, I think a trombone, 3 saxophones, 3 flutes, and I think we had 2 electric guitars because she didn't trust us with an acoustic guitar because it was her personal guitar. It was just, oh. So yeah, I didn't learn shit in band. Okay, I think they're done. So I'm gonna merge their layers down. You know, I'm gonna start with just, I'm gonna see if this is different. Start with their noses and mouths. Ears, noses, and mouths, and then work my way down to the other markings. I wonder if that does anything. So apparently, because when I did art, when I was doing Art Fight, I would also post a link to the live stream where I worked on their piece in the description, so people could go watch it and hear me talk about different things. And it was really funny because one of them was laughing about how I was complaining about all the ruffles in a piece. I just didn't mean to complain about it. But I was complaining about it. I'm not gonna be shy about that. I was bitching about the ruffles. But then another person also said that I was really fast when it came to drawing because because I was live streaming at the same time they were, and I got like 2. It was the Bat King one. You remember that? And I think they were just coloring the sketches they were doing, and I basically finished his entire redesign on stream, which was, and did I render it on stream? I don't remember, but yeah, I did finish it, which I think was because I was in a manic state, so I was a manic and giggly state, so I really got a lot done. But I've noticed I work slower when I'm on stream. I think it's because I stopped to talk a bit, but I'm not sure, because when I'm not streaming, I waste time in other ways by looking for something to listen to. And there's plenty to watch on YouTube. It's just there's not a lot that I can just listen to. I kept clicking the wrong button. I mean, sure, I could just have videos playing in the background and just listen to it, but then I would have to stop and go, wait, what are they talking about? Or like most of my feed is either, most of my feed right now are either 2 things, or I can count one of 3 things. Craft videos, but not 5-minute crafts because fuck those people. Let's plays, and creepypastas. Which, oh, that's wrong. Hold up. I wasn't thinking. Which is fine. I don't mind listening to creepypastas, but I have been listening to, I had stopped listening to them as much for a while so I could work on other things. And then I started listening to them non-stop, basically, for a while, and it was affecting me. I was having really weird dreams. Not nightmares, but it was like, they were creepypasta-esque stories in the dream, and I would just, they weren't good creepypastas. They weren't good. So I would wake up and be like, man, what the hell? And then in my delirious, exhausted state, because when I wake up and remember a dream, I'm not rested. I just had to, like, I gotta go back to sleep so I can go back in there and tell them, man, what the, and like knife hand them in the face and point at them, go, what the fuck were you thinking? This is bad writing. And so yeah, that happened like 3 nights in a row where it was just unrestful sleep. And then recently, my back has been giving me problems. Well, not recently, but on top of that, my back was also giving me problems. So I had to deal with that. Which is also why I'm so tired. I was oversleeping. Because I would wake up, remembering my dreams, feeling exhausted, and think, you know what, I'm just gonna get a little bit more rest. Sleep in a little bit, and I'll be fine. And then I'd wake up 3 hours later, unrestful sleep, my back is killing me, and I'm still exhausted. But for completely different reasons now. And it's just, well, you can't win. You can't win. So I think since I sleep on a futon, and I've been having it up recently, I don't remember why I did that, but I had a reason for it. But I think I'm gonna put the back down to make it more like a bed. So I can move more. Maybe that's why I wasn't sleeping so well. I usually move in my sleep, and when my movement is constricted, I don't sleep as well. Or, like, I remember my dreams more. I don't know what it is. Alright, let's remember what you look like, Hazelpaw. I changed his colors for his new reference sheet. Did I? Yeah, I did. He wasn't this red before. Oh, so, okay. Mini rant. You know what? Where's my rant button? 8, okay. Rant time now. Okay, I hecking hate it that whenever I post something on DeviantArt, if it's above a certain, like, these pages here are 4,000 by 2,900 pixels. Kind of big, but it renders clear, mostly. But these references by themselves were 4,000 by 200 pixels length, horizontally. And they all rendered fuzzy. Every single one of them on DeviantArt, if you look, they look fuzzy. The only reason they're clear is when you click on them to make them bigger, but then they're not bigger by much. And it's just, why is it so hecking fuzzy? Because if someone can see the full thing and it's fuzzy, they're not going to click on it to see it clearly. No, they're just going to look at it and say, that's fuzzy, and then keep going. Assuming I don't know how to render. Which I clearly don't, but I don't want you to know that. So why is it fuzzy? I don't know how to fix it, because I can't just, I mean, I could just make them all smaller, but what's the why should I have to do that? DeviantArt's like a full-ass page, a full-ass website that's been around since the early 2000s, I think. It should be able to handle a few pixels. Especially with some people are rendering fully animated GIFs and whatnot. Yes, I say GIF. I don't say GIF. GIF is the peanut butter. GIF in graphic image framing, I think is what it stands for. And that's graphic something. So yeah, I transfer the G sound from the graphic. I don't care what the original creator said. He said that just to be problematic. He didn't say it to actually settle an argument. He said it just to be problematic because GIF is a peanut butter. Anyway. And another thing. No. No. Do I have the one that's 9? Okay, no. Okay. coffee's 1, rants 8, excited is 3, and then sing is 2. Okay. Which all affect my minivan in some way. Oh yeah, I promised a speed paint and a topic video about Art Fight. Shit, I gotta think about that. You know, it's it's funny. I wrote a script for a video talking about my comic process and all I've learned in the 2 years or so that I've been making comics. And I haven't done it yet. It's all I wrote the script. I just haven't recorded anything for it. And I have plenty of footage to use for the video. I don't know, I haven't gotten around to it. And I know I promised an Art Fight video, so that's gonna be fun. I'm not sure what I'm gonna say, because what hasn't been said already about Art Fight? You know something I just noticed that is gonna drive me up a hecking wall? I've been drawing cats for so long, and I've actually discovered something, about anatomy when it comes to cats. And I've been drawing their noses wrong the whole time. But I've been drawing them with more canine features. This is not how a cat nose looks. But it's too late to change it now, but I figured, I should maybe look at some references to figure out how to draw cats from the front, because I couldn't, quite figure it out before. So now I got them cute looking to look like cats from the front, but they got the wrong noses from the sides. That's just how I draw it. So what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What an unusual view. Anyway. Ooh, headache. Headache coming on. We need the caffeine. So in making this pot of coffee, when you pour coffee and sometimes it just kind of dribbles down the side, and there's really no reason for it. It just dribbles down the side and on the counter, and you're like, oh, well, crap. I gotta clean that up now. No matter, even if, I had the lid open, I was bracing it against the cup, and it still spills sometimes. This time, when I was pouring my coffee, it had just finished percolating. Because I wanted to get my coffee, so, I knew I had my share, so I could bring it in here and let it cool down so I could get to work, eventually. So, yeah, I'm standing in front of, because we have our coffee maker on a counter. It's on a little mini counter. So I'm standing, you can't see me, but I'm pouring my coffee. I'm holding my cup just to brace it because habit. I got the lid up. Not only did it spill down the spout and onto the counter, it spilled off the counter because I didn't realize how much it was spilling. So I thought, if I just pour a little faster, it won't spill as much because of momentum. Scalding hot coffee directly onto my foot. Scalding hot coffee. I don't know how it got there. Just boiling hot coffee directly onto my top of my left foot. I screamed, ow, kicked my foot because pain, and surprisingly didn't drop the coffee pot. Now I put it back in the coffee pot maker, in the coffee maker, and I'm just what the fuck? And my sister was standing right there. She's like, what, how did that happen? And I'm just, how did this happen? I'm cleaning it up, and my dad walks in from outside, and I said, before you say anything, I don't know how it happened either. And he's like, oh, did you spill? I'm just, yes! I spilled like a good, I don't know how much I spilled, but it was like at least a tablespoon, which doesn't sound like much. And it probably was actually more than that. It was like at least 2 tablespoons of coffee. But it's like on the counter and then onto my foot. Thankfully, I was wearing my waterproof socks, so when I like moved my foot, it all just rolled off immediately, and all I felt was the heat. I didn't have, it didn't soak in or anything. So I'm thankful for that. But my God, why does that happen? How have we not figured the technology of pouring water, of pouring liquid? How have we not figured that technology out? I mean, sure, we have. I've only spilled a, what are those called? The gardening ones. But you know the gardening ones, that are, the gardening ones. These ones. I've never spilled this one. Well, I've never spilled out from here, but I've only spilled when I was like got too much in it and it spilled out here. But it was already like over the pot, so it was fine. I've never spilled one of these. Why aren't coffee makers shaped like that? Or like have a longer spout? How did cowboys not spill their coffee all over their lap? Or did they? Because if they did, I've never heard any songs about it. But then again, we don't write any songs about spilling our coffee, even though that's like half of what we do. So, I don't know. How have we not figured out that technology to spare us from the pain of pouring scalding hot liquid onto ourselves? I mean, better than just using regular cups. But here's the thing though, have you seen those videos where someone's pouring from mug to mug and it's like spilling down the side? So I'll just move the cup so that it'll spill into the cup. And then the water just pours straight out and onto the counter. Why? This is technically a rant, but I don't care. It's less of a rant, it's more of I'm just baffled. I'm baffled. Why does this happen? How have we not figured out the physics of this? We just recently figured out how to make Roman concrete. Or Roman cement, or whatever they're called. And it's a fairly simple recipe. It's water, it's not water. It's limestone, sand, and seawater was the key ingredient. But getting the proportions, we finally figured that out. And just, how did it take us that long to figure out what's in these head rocks? We know more about the moon than we do know about half of our own planet, which is kind of sad, but also really funny if you think about it. Because, you'd think we'd figure out our own planet before we figure out, other planets. But here's the thing. Humans have this natural grass is greener mentality. Grass is greener on the other side of the fence. So they're thinking, I think I used the nose color. What's so interesting about our planet? We see it every day. I want to figure out how other planets work. But then when we can't figure out how other planets work, because we don't even know how our own planet works half the time. So that's the reason why. It's also motivation or reasoning. Sure, that we have plenty of reason to figure out how half of our own planet frickin' works. But it's just like finding someone who's able to fund said research. Or, I don't know if it all comes down to funding, because I swear to God, there are some scientific experiments going on that do not need to happen. Okay? We don't need to put plastic or ceramic or silicone fake caterpillars all over the world, okay? What is that doing? And we don't need to play TV in a room full of furniture to see if furniture think. Of course furniture doesn't fucking think. It's dead wood and upholstery and feather and feathers and foam. Of course they don't think. You know what we should be studying? You know, like, oh, I don't know, a cure for cancer? A way to save coral reefs? You know, but here's the thing. We have the answers to all of the things we actually need, but it is more cost-effective to not cure cancer than to let it happen to people so we can rake in hundreds of billions of dollars in research that doesn't need to happen for cancer treatment when we already have the answers to the cure. You know, we've had several people have found alternatives to chemo to cancer that have worked with little to no fallout. You know what happened to them? Their research was shut down and we haven't heard from them since. I think that's a little more than suspicious. Also, why would we actually work on actually saving our planet and coral reefs and whatnot and trees and you know, ocean currents when we can just spread fear about it so people will elect us for pretending that we can fix things by saving it with electric cars, which doesn't do anything. In fact, buying electric cars to save the planet is like funding... It's like... Let me think of an analogy real quick. Buying an electric car to save the environment is like buying cotton in protest of slavery back in this, you know, in Civil War times. That's what it's like. Because you know what you're actually doing when you buy an electric car with those lithium batteries? You're funding lithium mines. You know who works in lithium mines? Child slaves. You know what you have to do to get the lithium for these lithium batteries from the lithium mines? You have to dig down into the earth, which causes so much schmuggly smoke and sloppity slop for your needs that you don't even need. You don't need the need. So stop. You don't need an electric car. Gas is actually not, you know, petrol, diesel, gas, whatever you call it. It's actually not as dangerous or deadly as they say it is. Well, yeah, it's dangerous to work with because fumes and whatnot, but trees eat that. You know, the smog in China would actually have been fixed if they planted more trees. If China had more trees, the smog in China and LA would all diminish. It wouldn't go away overnight, but it would diminish substantially every year because that's what trees are for. That's what they do. More so than, and that's like ignoring grass, bushes, and algae. Algae purifies air just as much as grass and trees do, because we got more of it. So why aren't we focusing our efforts on conserving what actually fixes the problem instead of selling some other bullshit item that you don't need, is way too expensive, and just adds to the problem? Why? Because it makes moolah. It makes money. And why do we care about money so much? It just buys things. And yes, we all need money, but we all need money because we decided that as a society. Well, actually, we didn't decide it. People with money decided we needed money because they wanted more money. Why? So they can buy more extravagant things. Why? So they can fill the empty hole, this crevice that's in their soul that is just, that they hollowed out because of greed, and they don't want to admit to themselves that we are all mortal beings, that we're going to die, and it's all our worldly possessions will mean nothing because we can't take them with us when we're dead, because we're dead. I don't care what the Egyptians say. There's actually no proof of any of it. There's actually no proof of any religion, really. It's just proof of culture. So why are we bothering with all this money bullshit if it's just gonna cause problems for the living? Even dying is expensive. Why? Why? So they can get more money. Because why? Anyway, let's do Lion Stripe. I think that was the longest rant I ever went on stream. Clip it. Let's get the let's get the records. Of all the characters on this comic, I think I've actually gotten. I like drawing Lion Stripe when he's not when he's not in focus most of the time. I don't know why it's so hard for me to draw him. Look at him. He's a cute fluff boy. But for some reason, every time I draw him, it never looks right. And I was, spend hours freaking out about it. Because I can't get him to look quite right. Except here, because it's like a one focus shot. And it's more, this is like me trying to figure out how I want to do comics. So this is another test shot. So I think which is why, it turned out a little better for me. Because I was just doing something. I wasn't trying to do anything. I was just doing something. Then I think I do line art better when I'm not streaming because I feel like I'm not pressured to do it, if you know what I mean. Like, I can spend 3 hours on this line art, which, I mean, I would be hard on myself if it took me 3 hours to line a whole goddamn page. But also, I can look at the results and say, hey, look at that. I did that. Which I can do with any live stream too, but like, with a live stream I can say, hey, look at that. I did that. And there's evidence. And here's video evidence of me working on it for hours on end. Monetizable. Except not, because it's monetizable. I'm not monetized. I'm not making money for anything I do here on YouTube yet. I'm holding out that hope. Oh no. Fuck. Do you see what I just did? Oh no. Shit. I hate my life. Oh, this is so terrible. Ugh. Whatever, I'll just It's actually not that big a deal, okay? Let's calm down. Alright, and also another character. I really like Brindlefur, don't get me wrong. But oh my god, has her reference and design have gone through so many changes. And it's only like 3 colors that I have to keep track of because I minimized it. It's only 3 colors. But for some reason I just can't remember her patterning. Even though looking at it, oh yeah, that's pretty simple. But when I draw it like 5 million times, I don't know why it just hasn't stayed with me. I know her face. Her face is pretty simple. And she's pretty, and I do like her character. Y'all have been kind of sleeping on her character a little bit, which I won't blame you. I haven't, she hasn't had much time to shine yet. She hasn't much time to shine yet. I will preface that. But, she's gonna get her part soon. think I'm just gonna do these beige bits, beige and orange, and then go in with the brown. Okay. Okay. Shoulder, tail tip, almost elbows, back before the hip, middle of the thigh. Tail, mid-tail, back, and thigh, which we don't see, and under it. Whoa. Facing out? Yeah. Actually, hold up. Flat, then up. There we go. And now for the orange bits, the orangey bits, always near the beige. It's orange, beige, brown. Beige, orange, brown. That's sheet. Okay, yeah. Then the opposite direction. No, wait, back and then forward. Opposite direction. For the orange, and I'll offset this with the beige. And then the brown is there and there. And then the orange here is her. What is this on part of the cat? That's the ankle, because this is their toes. And yeah, that's the ankle, because cats are, animal anatomy is one of the weirdest things ever, because we like try to compare it to human anatomy, but we just can't because they're not human. Even though everything we make, everything we study, we try to compare it to a human in some way. Which, I mean, yeah, that's just how we think and how we can identify things, because the best thing a man can know is himself. What the fuck am I doing? See, it goes up, yeah, the down, and then we'd have to, yeah. And then what's it from here? From there, orange, okay. And then brown here. And here. Yeah. Does that go down a bit? I think I put the orange too far back though. But it's okay. As long as she looks like her. As long as, yeah, her base silhouette and color order and semi-shape are in proper order, then it should all be fine. I think the characters are finally done. And there the eyes. And then I'm gonna add these layers. I'm not gonna render them yet, but I'm gonna add them just so I don't have to deal with them later. I mean, I could technically, that's why I have this page up for. This color and this color. Now watch the magic happen. Now, with the orange still in multiply mode, even without the highlight, we still have a semblance of color from the sun, but not the same as this hard lighting that otherwise wouldn't. Wouldn't be as subtle. Now, honestly, I could stand to use some soft lighting instead of just the hard lighting for the hard highlights. You know, that's why it's called the hard lighting. But I am stuck in my ways. As I say as I am demonstrating a new rendering technique. And I think I over-render anyway when it comes to my comics. I feel like I add way too much emphasis on the lighting. Even though I really do like the lighting, it is a little distracting in some pages. Because like, it's really... Like, someone commented, it was a really sweet comment on when Hawk Star is naming her deputy. It's a very sweet comment. They said they really liked the fog in the scene to add to the, you know, the ambiance and make it a little more ominous. It's like, oh, that's very sweet, but I didn't have the heart to tell them that that wasn't fog. Those were supposed to be moonbeams. And I'm thinking that was kind of, it wasn't like a wake-up call, but it was kind of like a, oh, I've put way too much emphasis on the lighting. So then I'm going to try with some soft lighting. I haven't done the backgrounds yet, so I don't know if this is even going to work. Are you serious? Are you JK? Are you serious? You need to go potty, Elias? Alright. It's not a rune stream if we don't let the dog out. Alright. Hold up, I'll be right back. full moon tonight. Which I can't remember if this would make it a new moon, a new month in Judaism, or if that's on Rosh Chodesh when we do that with the new moon. Which is when we don't even see the moon. Because we're in between the sun, so I don't know how that works. I might stick with this. I'm not sure what lighting to use for these two panels since they're an overlay, but we shall see. Yips. On. Alright. Now, for the backgrounds, I take care of the lighting and shadow mostly just with the, since they're done, I can get rid of that. With the coloring, I should be just using the lighting to affect, come on, turn to eraser, thank you, to affect color. The color of those shadows for the backgrounds. I should also be doing that with the characters, but I just haven't been because I'm an idiot. That took 100% of my concentration. I don't know why. Alright, need to also keep in mind where the speech bubbles are, so I don't like, wow, I'm really proud of that rock, and then speech bubbles. Oh. I've done that before. I'm like, wow, I'm really proud of these backgrounds, and then like, oh wait, the speech bubbles. I'm never consistent with which way the grain is going in a scene. Which I probably should be, but it's dirt. What grain is there to be? It's dirt. Now, with wood, grain goes up. Oop. Grain goes up for dirt. I mean, for tree, so why would I give a toss about what it does for dirt? I don't know if I'm like breaking any comic rules by just not giving a toss about certain things. Because I am using this for practice for when I actually do want to publish my graphic novels in an eventual superhero comic series, because yes, I'm one of those people. Don't exactly know what I mean by that, but you should. Alright, for some reason I'm doing these scenes twice. Ah, jeez. I'm gonna do those later. I'm gonna photo one. One thing at a time, love. Ow. Oh, wait. Actually, no, I'll leave that. Did I cut it? No, I didn't. Alright, so let's get the camp reference. Because I have set colors for certain props. You know, quick, not really a PSA, but kind of like a... I feel guilty. Not really guilty, but I feel, you know, unqualified to give advice about anything. I mean, even if it's something I think I'm really good at. You know, like making tutorials and whatnot. Like, I made that coloring tutorial, which was a fine video, but I'm just, I felt bad giving out the advice because, like, now I'm not really following half of that advice. I mean, sure, this similar technique and whatnot with the, you know, putting, you know, base layers and rendering style, or, you know, the shading style hasn't really changed much. But I feel guilty about giving advice on things like this because I'm still learning and I haven't figured everything out. So if you ever want a tutorial from me, I'm going to say, well, it's not going to happen. Unless it's something I absolutely know I can do and have learned most of everything that needs to happen. That you can from it. Message retract. Well, okay. Back to the grind of comics. I have forgotten how much actual work goes into a single comic page. So when I was scripting them, I was like, oh yes, I can write about this and this and this and that. And then I actually started sketching out the page and I remembered, oh yeah, I have a limited amount of room for dialogue. Very limited amount of room for dialogue. So I can't write 3 paragraphs and say, oh yes, this is in one panel. It's like, no, honey, please. It's not gonna work like that, sweetie. And I still don't know how to texture a freaking oak tree. I've looked at oak trees. I've looked at references. I only have a certain amount of brushes and techniques up my sleeve, so I don't even know how to do a stupid oak tree. But I do know they got some texture to it that's different than regular trees, so I'm just operating on the faith that I can say, this is oak tree, and people believe me and say, alright, that's their oak tree. And that's basically done. Where's the other trees? Here they are. Airbrush. There we go. I also feel weird about giving advice for things, you know, refusing to give advice on something even though you're learning is kind of a bad excuse, and I will admit that. It's a poor excuse because we're all learning, but some of us just learn differently, and some of us learn by tutorial. And it's like, here's what I found via messing around. So that's no reason to not give out advice and whatnot. But also, I feel weird about giving advice for, hey, on comics or anything really, because then I run the risk of, okay, here's advice on how I do this, and it works pretty well. And then as soon as I post that video, I find a different way, or found out the way I was doing it was rubbish, and then I come up with, or I just discover a new way of doing something. I'm just, well, shoot, I did all that video and worked on tutorials, and now people say, oh, I follow your tutorial. I'm like, please don't, it's rubbish. Oh, we all learn by following tutorials. It's like, no. I did not learn by following how to draw books. I learned by saying, man, screw this, and just started drawing freehand. Because I never followed the advice in those how to draw books. Did anyone actually follow the advice in those how to draw books? I used tracing paper because in my dumbass mind, I was like, why would I sketch when I can just go into, the official, the finished product, which is why I never outlined any of my papers. Why would I waste time outlining when I could just write the final paper? Oh, how naive I was. It's kind of funny when we look back at how stupid we were. Well, I shouldn't say stupid, because we were children, we were learning, but at the same time we were really dumb. So I'll move this down here so I can not worry about it so much. Just fill her in. I hate, if I'm gonna, give anyone advice, I hate always having to put the disclaimer in front of everything I say. It's like, disclaimer, I'm not an expert, I'm just learning like everyone else, and here's how I do these things. Or, if it doesn't work for you, don't do, duh, I'm not an expert, and duh, what I do that works for me isn't gonna work for everyone else. I got ADHD and autism. Nothing actually works for me. This is just how I decided I was gonna do something. It doesn't necessarily mean it's good advice. It's just what I do because that's what my brain decided it was gonna be. And until faced with a new way of doing it, via me discovering how to do it, because even when someone here's advice on how I do something, it's just like, cool, I don't use Procreate. I use Medibang, so your advice doesn't actually work for me. That's one thing that also annoys me about. I was like, here's a bunch of drawing tips, and it's stuff that only applies to Procreate. How does that... am I just the only plebeian that's still using Medibang? Does everyone else use Procreate? Am I the only poor person who doesn't use Apple products? Is that it? Or is this part of Big Apple, where they're trying to push everyone to buy their products? I don't know. If you missed the rant earlier, you know my feelings on certain companies and government officials. If you missed the rant earlier, it's okay. The stream will be going up on my channel after it's live. So glad I don't stream on Twitch. Does that mean it's like, oh, follow my VOD channel, and here's my main channel, and here's my clips channel? It's just, nah. Listen, if I want to post something that's a video, I'm gonna put it here. If it's a short clip, edit, whatever. Now, okay, I do have some old edits that I did back in ye olden days on my channel. All those videos are gone, except I saved a few that I actually liked. But I haven't posted them here because there is no way in hell I would not get a copyright strike. You know, they're like music videos and not PMVs. I think I got rid of all those. There's, yeah, a few edits and music videos I have from for Transformers and Voltron that are on a separate website entirely. So, I think it's called Vimeo, and it's not even under my proper name anymore. I'm tempted to bring those back because people did seem to like my edits and they got a lot of traction, but it was like, there's no way in hell I could monetize these unless I edit the shit out of the audio or the footage or say, hey, this is fair use because it's, you know, used for entertainment and whatnot. And that's... YouTube has already striked me down a few times. Well, I haven't gotten a strike. I've just said, hey, you can't use this video because audio purposes, if someone claimed to use their audio, and I listened to the video, and I listened to the audio that they claimed that I used, and I'm just like, this isn't even the same thing! But I can't dispute it, because the only dispute options that are available, this is definitely a rant, the only dispute options that are available on YouTube are saying, like, it's under fair use, I have permission, or it's like, I have a license for this, I created the audio, or, you know, I have written permission from the creator to use this audio. Which is, none of these are true for my situation. What they did was file a false claim. So I can't dispute it because they filed a fucking false claim. Because they used copyright-free music, made a song out of it. I used the same copyright-free music to play in the background of my videos, and then they claimed me for using the same bass as the copyright-free, you know, the free copyright video they did. I use Myuu music. I said Myuu in old videos. It's M-Y-U-U. You tell me how to explain that. I think it's called Myuu, because I think you said it. And it was the Identity Crisis song. I would play that in the backgrounds for most of my videos. And then some other dude didn't credit Myuu for the music that he did, wrote a really bad rap song, and then copyright claimed me. Like, I can't dispute it. I went through every avenue of the YouTube help desk, which is an oxymoron. I even went to Twitter with this, and they just said, oh, just file out a copyright claim if you think there's an error. And I'm just like, it doesn't fucking work! Because they're wrong. I can't say they're a liar. Here's the audio I used. They're wrong. I can't say that. There's no option for it. So I'm just, you know what? Just leave it alone. Because I'm not cutting the audio because it was barely audible in the background while I was talking. So I'm just, deflates. I don't hate YouTube, but oh my god, YouTube, you got problems, man. Fix it. Fix your freaking algorithm, please. Because Twitch is going down the shitter, and I don't want to use Twitch. I tried working on Twitch, and it was just miserable. I mean, sure, when it was fun, I was having fun. But it's just when I heard about what they were doing, the ads. I don't want to, I hate going through it, so I'm not going to put my viewers through that kind of bullshit. So I'm just not going to stream on Twitch. If anyone was wondering. If you see an account that has my name on Twitch, it's not me. There's no grass over there. Well, technically, there should be grass over here. I don't even remember where I put the grass in this stupid camp. And it's not like YouTube ads are any better. You know what was real bullshit? And I'm not going to use the rant thing because this is just straight BS. I got a 12-second unskippable ad on a 9-second video. Huh? Like, a 9 seconds. That's slightly longer than a Vine. And shorter than YouTube Shorts, which don't have ads. I mean, YouTube Shorts don't have ads. And they're less than a minute. Yeah. So annoying. Yeah, with the copyright situation, I'm assuming is what you're talking about. Yeah, that... Ugh. I'm still mad about it because... I know it's like, it's no big deal. All the videos are still up. I just can't monetize them because of the claim and whatnot. Which is, whatever. It's only 3 live streams. But still, it's like, I'm worried about when it happens again in the future. When I actually have something at stake. It's like, what? Do I just not monetize a video because someone else filed a false claim to be an asshole? Or, I don't even know if that person actually did file a false claim and if it was just like a bot, because the channel that nagged me wasn't even the person's main channel. It was just like, those topic channels that just repost the music and whatnot. So it wasn't even a real person that nabbed that claimed it. It was a bot. Just wait a minute. They're allowed to do that, and then I can't. I mean, sure, it's not that big a deal, so I'm not gonna file a manual review because that's also a joke. I'm not gonna manually review a channel that has less than 100 subscribers for a copyright claim that doesn't even limit viewership. But I'm just fearing for what this would mean for the future. If YouTube is allowing shit like this to happen on the small scale, what are they allowing to happen on the big scale? It's really annoying. But I'm not going to raise a huge stink about it, because I just don't have the energy for it. Let's just be honest. I just don't have the energy. So how's y'all day been? I think I'm going back to, because the whole experience, like, it didn't scare me or shake me or anything, but it did trigger me. And I've only been triggered a few times, and it's not like the, ooh, that's a quirky, I've been triggered. But it was just, I have this thing where if false information is spread and believed over actual obvious truth, I get physically angry, upset, and I'm inconsolable. My sister can attest to this, because I was ranting to her about it, and she's like, damn. Yeah, and she's like, yeah, that sucks. And I'm just, no, it doesn't just suck, it's an injustice. God, dropped my pen. Yeah, what is life, man? Superstitions. Y'all heard of them? Get a load of this guy. Superstitions are so frickin' just... You want to talk about being triggered. Them's bitches be triggering. I think... Oh my god. You know, I keep forgetting to do this. I need to put my backgrounds in their own folder, because this is layer hell. Look at this. I put the characters in one folder because I was smart. I need to remember to do this. Make a note. Put background in folder. That's what I'm gonna do now. Keep the line art separate. I'll just put background. Save. Okay. Now that isn't so annoying. But if the audio wasn't the same, surely it's not allowed. But they use the same base audio. See, he didn't credit in the video I looked at, and in the channel. I couldn't find like the official channel, but like on the about, the person who made that song didn't credit Myuu for the bass music, because I know the exact song they used. It's called Identity Crisis by Myuu. It's really good piano music. It's dark piano, and then he wrote like a rap song over it, and that's what he claimed I copied, because we used the same bass. But I can't refute it, because there's no option for that. There's no option for me to say that this is a false claim, because I looked all over their help page. I said false claim, and they said if you have a problem, you can refute claim. And I put refute claim in all the options there. Don't say false claim. Because if they did have an option for that, a lot of copyright claims would be going down. I'm going to put these two on separate background, on separate folders. Thank you. Yeah. Drawing trees is actually kind of... It's stressful for me because I can't quite capture their beauty and majesty of a tree. But rendering them, I really like doing that, because then it's like I drew 2 lines and then I color it in. It's like, oh, that's a tree. And for the actual bushes and top of it, it's, you know, what I do for deciduous trees, I just do what I draw with bushes and just put that on top of 2 sticks. Which is not the right way to draw trees, but it's just how I do it. And then this is that color. That should be on a separate layer. Is that allowed? What the fuck? It's not allowed. Remove that so I can do this dirt. We got 3 different dirts going on, people. And now, blah, and I didn't use a highlight. Merge down. This is this layer, so we're gonna need this is darker, and I didn't do a lighter for this one, which is fine. I wonder how many comic artists actually study the geography of certain landscapes when they draw backgrounds, or do they just say fuck it? Because I sure did when coloring. Why is this color more red and most of the dirt around it is more dark orange? I don't know. I just thought it looked cool. Don't at me. So like this is all on the same plateau. Like this is this cliff is this side, and then this cliff is this side. Why is it 2 very different colors even though it's the same plateau? I don't know. Hush. I'm just gonna say it's all part of the plan even though there was no plan. It's all just pomp and circumstance. I feel like my stream is delayed. Very laggy at least. Yeah, so there's nothing I can do except maybe raise a stink about it on Twitter, but no one follows me on Twitter, and I'm thinking of deleting my Twitter. Excuse me, not Twitter, X. They changed their name. God, so stupid. Everything is stupid except Tree. Be more like Tree. Mind your own damn business and grow leaf. We should all just try and be like trees. Oh, and also have the green on it. There we go. And then... Oh, wait a minute. We forgot. Very important step. For the grass. One blessing of, having the base background color of being this light green is most of the background now doesn't have to be filled in. because this is overstretched. It's got this green base under it. So now it's like already partially colored. Even though I color over everything anyway. And it just saves me some time. Not a whole lot, but just enough to save me grief. I think I'm gonna put a glow behind them, but I'm not sure, so I'm just gonna leave it as is. I'm just gonna use the same base dirt color. This little area has a bit of a path going on and an edge. Wait, that's this edge, so it should be more of that color. I'm on the wrong layer. It's okay, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Shh, shh. Don't tell anybody. It's okay. It's okay. We're okay. Shh, shh. Nobody panic. Literally no one is panicking. This is inspired. Yes, this is inspired by Werecats. It is technically a Werecats fan comic because it is set in the same universe, but it's like a, it's basically, I read Vision of Shadows. I read the first 2 books of the Vision of Shadows series, so if you haven't read it, slight spoilers. But something happens in the book that really pissed me the hell off, to the point where I said, you know what? I just can't read this series anymore. And then for some reason, I just let it fester in me, to the point where it's like, man, if any cat with half a brain was there, like if I was there, I'd be yelling at everyone and saying, you're all being stupid, there's an obvious solution for this, why don't we just blah-de-blah? But then, of course, they gave the reasonings why they wouldn't do that, which were stupid and asinine. So I just went, you know what? If I was there, man, I'd leave the clans and then go form my own clan. So then, i.e., this comic came about. So these originally 8 cats lived in the clans, were pissed about how things were going on, and said, you know what? We could, this is stupid. I don't want to live in a clan, in these clans that are literally gonna let one clan die for the sake of a cat in a prophecy we don't even understand, that we may even be wrong about. So this is before code breakers and whatnot, because I'm so glad I wrote my cats leaving the clans before code breakers, because then, whew, that would have been a whole different can of worms. So yeah, they left to form their own clan because of they each had their own reason, which I had said, like, if you check their bios, it's all there. Most of it, anyway. And the comic is just about them finding their own way. Setting up their own way of life. And realizing they're not the only ones out here. It's also inspired a lot by Watership Down. If you haven't read the book or seen the movie or watched either TV show, I prefer the movie, the old animated film over the TV show or the Netflix adaptation. Don't get me started on the Netflix adaptation of Watership Down. Oh my god, that was terrible. It was horseshit. But it was entertaining because, you know, they got good voice actors and the script. I said I wasn't gonna get started. But yeah, this is also semi-inspired by Watership Down. Not quite the same circumstances for why they left, but it's a similar concept. They saw an impending danger coming, or like knew they had to leave for safety reasons. So they left to make their own warren. Or clan. You know, if I had waited for Vision of, you know, after Vision of Shadows and waited for like Code Breakers to happen, then this would have really been a Watership Down. This would have really been inspired by Watership Down, because then they would have all left because they could probably sense something's wrong with Bramblestar and think, we should leave. But with what was happening in the codes, some of these cats might not have left. They might have only left after hearing, it was like, wait a minute, you're saying this, but look who's preaching it. Like, I didn't read the, whatever the new series is called, you know, with the Code Breakers. I didn't read it, I just heard other people talking about it, and what they were saying was like, oh yeah, Bramblestar, who's being possessed by Ashfur, spoilers, is advocating that all code breakers should be punished, even kits that were born of mixed clans. And guess who was backing him up? Misty Star. You know, the daughter of Blue Star and Oakheart. A mixed clan kit. So I'm just, wait a minute. Either she's the biggest fucking hypocrite on the planet, or the writers forgot who their own characters were and have stopped caring, because even they don't even reference their own books anymore. Which also really broke my damn heart, learning that the Errands are not one person, but they split it up, the writing between chapters, which is, honestly, looking back on it, very noticeable. And that they don't even have a ref, they don't, it's called a Bible, they don't have a series Bible. They've referenced the fan wiki for information, and the fan wiki is wrong half the time. So it's just, wait a minute, you, the writers, I mean, sure, the original creator isn't working with Warriors anymore, which you've, noticed a decline since she left. I think it was Vicky something, but still, oof. As a content creator and as a writer, sure, I'm not published with HarperCollins, but still, I know everything there is to know about my characters. Sure, they are still growing and learning, like I'm growing and learning, as people, but even if it never appears in the comic, I know what my characters probably, their favorite ice cream would be, as an example. Not for this comic, but for, like, other properties. If that, I also know, hey, if they were in this situation, I know what their reaction to certain things would be, even if they're never in that situation in the story. I just had to plan for that. Watership Down is really sad. I love it. Yeah. I mean, I grew up, I read the book first. So in the movie and show, it didn't bother me as much. I mean, the bits still make me cry because Hazel's an amazing character. But for some people to say that it was traumatizing because it was so violent and bloody, I'm just like, man, y'all a bunch of sissies. Yeah, there was blood, but it was like cartoony blood. It's like, this is obviously not realistic blood, which I think might have, you know, would be traumatizing if it was realistic, but it clearly wasn't. The blood was like a light pink color, like fleshy pink. So it wasn't even, you know, I as a kid knew it was just fake and animated and not real, so it didn't traumatize me. Plague Dogs, on the other hand, made by the same company that did Watership Down, Plague Dogs didn't traumatize me, but watching it, I just went, oh my god. They did that. I won't spoil it, because I really think Plague Dogs is something that should be experienced rather than told. It's a good story. I like it. And it was very interesting to see what, you know, the dog's perspective of the whole situation was, because they couldn't understand the situation they were in. I'm reading your comics, really interesting. Thank you so much. It actually means a lot to me hearing that. It's not, you know, it's not that I've never heard someone say, oh, I like your stuff. It's just most people I hear it from are like my mom. Like, of course, Mom. You're gonna like my stuff because you're my mom. But then I don't, you know, I keep forgetting half the time. Not everyone has a supportive relationship with their family. So when they say, oh, my mom really likes my stuff, and that really means a lot to me because I want the respect and adoration of my mom, it's like, wait, you don't get that? Wait, your mom doesn't respect you? What? So it's just really weird to me. But also hearing people who don't know me, and strangers in passing saying that they like my stuff, it's just, oh. Oh, that's overlapping. I need to erase that. Well, no, I'll just put it up here. And then this. So yeah, if you want a movie that's sad and traumatizing, but also very entertaining, watch Plague Dogs. Content warning, there is blood, okay? And there is animal testing. So yeah, content warning for that. Also, an animated film that surprised me with how hardcore it went was Feliday. But then I should have known because it was German film, and it wasn't made for children entertainment because it was based on the book Feliday, which is also not written for children entertainment. This was kind of an adult book written from the perspective of cats about animal testing. Kind of like Secret of Nim, but it was like if Secret of Nim was actually realistic to how terrible humans are to animals, to testing on animals. For the sake of scientific discovery, it was quite eye-opening. It was really well animated too. Alright, there is a scene in that movie that has gotten the movie very famous in America. They're like, oh my god, there's a sex scene between two cats. I'm like, okay, it's not that graphic, guys. Like, it's not that graphic. You don't see anything, you just hear it. And, I mean, well, you do see it, but you don't see any genitals and juices. You don't see any of that, so it's not that graphic, guys. But yeah, it's there. Alright, we're almost done with this page. And then, holy shit, Art Fight is officially over, and it is officially August. Good God, what a July. I can't wait for August to be over, even though I know it just started. It's literally 60 seconds years old, and I already want August to be gone. Take it away. I don't want to look at it anymore, because I just hate summer. But it feels like fall should be coming soon, but it's not. We got another 2 months of this shit, because September is still hot as balls. Like, really hot as balls. I didn't shade these because they were a flashback, but these are supposed to be like the actual... There we go. Compliment DA in a chat group and ever since. Oh good, that was sharing to groups actually does something. Well, it will be back this Tuesday. So today at 7 should be up. The newest page should be up. Comic will be officially back from hiatus. Getting a little sneak peek. I'm gonna try and stream more these next coming months. Just for, you know, monetary value and whatnot. But also so it just guarantees that I get these stupid things done. How I should render these guys. Like, should I give them shading or just like a simple gradient? I think that's good enough. I know, let's frame by frame this. And come out. Hazelpaw says something. Ivy Whisper says something. Overlay. Overlay. And then next page. This is next week's. This bubble is bothering. It's bothering me. So I'm gonna fix it. Without even looking at the dialogue, I'm just gonna fix the bubbles. The bubbles. Just so it stops bothering me. Quick flash of the text. There we go. And I think that's done. Now, usually I would continue on and add sunbeams everywhere, which is really distracting, and I might stop, honestly, unless it's like a scene shot. Like this one, which this is the old art for it, so it's not that. Yeah, I might do beams on like shots like this, but for like character shots and dialogue, I think I'll just forego the beams because they're just too distracting for me and probably for the viewer as well. I just hope my handwriting is legible, because I always worry about that. Alright, quick flash of the text because I gotta fix these bubbles. Also read some a comic advice somewhere where like you don't want to shrink wrap your speech bubbles, but you should be in the corner of each speech bubble. You should be able to fit a capital H in the corners, and I'm just, I mean, it's fine, but I don't use bubbles for my speech bubbles. I use just these text. I just use the brush to color under the text so that can guarantee you see it, because without it, that's really hard to read. And I mean, sure, I could use the manga settings that Medibang has, but I'm a control freak. Most of my comics are just paneled illustrations anyway, so it doesn't really matter. To me, anyway. Now, when I go ahead and try and do a graphic novel, I might change my style, but for now, I'm just trying to get this story out. Oh, that's, hold up. Alright. This page is done. That page is already rendered. No, don't save. I'm gonna need this one still. And save. I'm not gonna render it yet, because I want to... Come on. No. Don't crash on me, please. Respond. Oh, whew! I hate it when it does that for more than a few seconds. Anyway, that's done. That's okay. Yeah, that's fine. I think next page. I'm gonna start the line art for this one. Wish me luck, folks. Where should I start? No, I'll start with Brindlefer, since I like her so much. You can't tell based on the actual comic, because she's just not featured that much. And I haven't drawn much of her. But, oh my god. I'm gonna need the references real quick because I keep forgetting, because I want to keep their style, the way they're drawn consistent, so I gotta just keep in mind how I draw them at every angle. Alright, since this is done, I'm gonna close this because I keep accidentally clicking on it. I'm won't need that for this stream, and I'm just gonna do this. Nose eye needs to be up. Talking about earlier, I was talking about how I've been drawing cat noses wrong the whole time. And I was like, really? I'm concerned about the way their muzzles look when I give them lashes like that. But I will be concerned with base anatomy because I don't want them to look wonky. Or inbred. It's funny how that fixed it for me. There we go. How many? 3. Something I also need to work about consistency with is line width on the characters, because I keep switching between my brushes. Like the sizes. I'm constantly switching, and it's I can't imagine how annoying it is for the audience if it's driving me up a wall, if the audience even notices or cares. Sometimes the audience just doesn't care, but I do because I'm extra. 2. Wait, no, that was snow blazes. Cheek clefts. I also have the pressure sensitivity on really high, so that might also be affecting how characters look. Wait, is that even right? No, her wife doesn't go that far. Merde. This is why I always have references. That's bad too. That's the wrong button. Maybe if I try from this angle, it'll work. Disconnected? Is it me? Is the stream? No, stream house connection dead. Oh. I've had internet problems on more than one occasion. just stop drawing his muzzle so long? Because it's not that long. He's actually got a squared off muzzle. It's short tail that's got a longer snoot. Because he's more nosy. See? Kill me. I am astonished, yet also very proud, at how many people have commented on the comics saying, "Oh my god, I hate this guy." I'm just... I did my job as a writer. Except not as an artist, apparently. I keep wanting to go out. His is down. Down then in. Just cheap? No, they don't. What they do? Quick question, how do any of y'all stay motivated to make stuff? Well, for me, I write very character-based stories. So I have these stories and these characters that are just living in my head. And I gotta get them out and, you know, talk about them and draw them and have them actually doing the things I imagine them doing. Because if I don't, it'll drive me crazy. Because I'm actually probably a little bit crazy. So that's how I kind of stay motivated to make things, because I'm crazy. And, you know, at first I'll make something and go, this is for shits and giggles, just gonna make it to get it out of my head. And then people like it, and then they comment on it, and they say, I want to know more about these people. And I go, oh, okay, here's some more. Yeah. But also, you know, this is what I want to do. So I find motivation to do it because it's what I want to do. Now, art is a tool for sharing your stories. It is not what. I'm not meant to be an artist. I'm just using art as an avenue to share my soul with people, basically. I just share my comments with my friends, and they're all pushing me to share it, so yeah. And there's no romantic way to say to stay motivated is basically have people in your life that bully you into being great, or just be mentally unstable enough to where if you don't, you'll go crazy. It's not great advice, but it's what I've got. It's also, if you think, oh, what's the point? Because there's already someone else has already told a story. You know, every story's been told before. It's like, no, it hasn't. Not every story has been told before because you haven't told your story. Even if it's similar or reminiscent or has a resonance in what other people have done, that's the point of humanity. What separates us from other species on our planet is that we tell stories. For no survival reason, no purpose, just because we can. We tell stories. We make art. Now, other creatures do engage in creative activities, but it's mostly for survival. You know, for mating purposes and whatnot. This eye is very skewed, and that's because his head is tilted. Hang on, let me fix this and then I'll read that. So, if you're losing motivation to tell your story because it's already been told before, no, it hasn't. Because you haven't told it. No one will tell the story the way you can. Always wanted to be an author, but I tried to start a webcomic. No one read it, so I went to DA and started posting my art. Then I decided to start comics. It was so fun, I continued. Yeah. I am avoiding Webtoon like the plague. I'm not gonna work for Webtoon, no matter how many people say, oh, why don't you post this on Webtoon? It would do really well on Webtoon. I am not going to sell my soul to those demons just so I can maybe turn a profit on my stories. Now, it is the dream to one day monetize my stories to make money doing what I love, but if I'm gonna make money doing what I love, it's gonna be people donating money so that, because they want to see more of what I can do. I don't really want to work for any company that will drop me as soon as I, you know, if I'm not making them money, as soon as I stop being useful to them. I'm just gonna keep creating because I like it, and if other people like it, I'm so glad we get to share this journey together. Yeah, it's only slightly inconvenient and annoying that I'm still living with my parents, but hey, at least my parents like me enough to keep me around, so that's bonus. Or at the very least, they don't have the heart to kick me out. Either way, I count myself lucky being able to do what I love, how I love it. Because I know, like, oh, I love working on stories. I should, like, go sign on with a company and whatnot, or work in a studio. But that studio will wear you down to nothing with deadlines and budget cuts and saying, oh, we changed our minds about certain stories, so we're scrapping the entire project. And you're like, excuse me? Yeah. Like, working for a studio was the dream. Was the dream. But now, I think the dream is to just be able to create freely. Also, I think the dream is to make your own studio. That's the dream right now. Every artist or animator right now dreams of maybe having their own studio to create and whatnot, which, yeah, I have that dream too. I don't think I will ever give it to a company because it's kind of strange. They take your art and then you don't do what they want. They get rid of you. You can't make it anymore because it belongs to them. Yes, exactly. Like, if you create a story and it's your baby and you sell it to a company and they take it and then run it for like 3 episodes and then cancel it because it didn't do the numbers they wanted it to do, you now can't take it back. You can't. But that's the thing with, you know, studios and whatnot. They're very limiting to how many people they reach. Honestly. It's very limiting to how many people they reach. But if you're, like, working for yourself, you know how many humans use YouTube daily? Or at the very least, weekly? Everybody. Like, basically everybody. Not the entire planet. I understand there are a lot of countries that don't even have internet access. But still, you know, you can reach so much more if you do it by yourself. And even if not a lot of people do watch, you know, or read your comic, the ones that like your comic, the like-minded people, will stick around and read. And then those are the people you should hold on to. Quality over quantity. The ones that understand will stick around. Don't try and please the masses with your stories. Write stories that you like. And then people who are just like you will find it, read it, and like it as well. It's called Kitten Quest. It makes me happy, so I keep doing. And that's all you gotta do. I mean, in this day and age of we gotta make money all the time, sometimes you just gotta do things that make you happy, even if they don't make any sense or are kind of weird. It doesn't matter. As long as you get your daily serotonin boost. Who is anyone to say it's wrong or weird? Now, unless you're like literally doing drugs to get your serotonin, then you need friends to tell you, hey, we need to talk about your health, buddy. But like if you're not hurting anybody, including yourself, and you're having fun, who's anyone's to say bollocks to it? Now, featuring everyone's favorite character. I mean, I'm joking, but I can only assume everyone likes Splash Paw, because that's all the comments I hear. But Hawkfang, well now Hawkstar, won the art fight competition, so she's up there. Don't stress too much about the deadline. Yeah. But I stress only a little bit about deadlines out of conviction or just like an air of professionalism. Because if I make a promise to someone and I say, yes, these pages will be out these days, and then they're not, I mean, then I'm not only a liar, I'm dishonest with my words. You know, but if something comes up and it has to be delayed and I have to say, sorry guys, something came up, page is going to be a little bit later, then people will understand. Because like, if something came up like drastically that I had to change, you know, that I had to reschedule and whatnot, his nose was drawn wrong on the reference, and that happened because I didn't flip the canvas. So I need to keep that in mind. His reference is wrong. He's got a little he's got a kitten face. Yeah, one page every day. It got so hard, but this man, I couldn't draw it so freely. Yeah, I almost did the 1 page a day thing too. I did that for a while, but then it was killing me. So I said, you know what, I'll do 1 page a week. But then I got really good at making the comic and scheduling, you know, and drawing ahead and getting everything scheduled to where I was kind of bored waiting for a Wednesday to come around. So I just said, you know what, I'm gonna post 2 pages a week. Every Tuesday and Thursday. And and then stream on like Wednesdays and whatnot. Wait, hold up. Flip. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Wait. You. It's fine. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So here's the thing: the reason why studios are able to post one episode a month, not a month, one episode a week, is because they like made the entire season in advance, and then they're just posting it after the fact. They're not working on it consistently. And what they are working on is like rendering it ahead of time and just getting it done. The fact that some people had the gall to say, hey, if studios can get one page and can get one episode a week, I don't see why these indie artists have any excuse. I'm just like, do you not know how the industry works? It's like, the people who've said that have clearly never tried to animate anything ever. Because, oh my god, have y'all tried animating? Holy shit. I've never wanted to die more from doing art. Yeah, gotta save myself there. More from doing art. Now, comics is just as time consuming, but at least from working, for how long have I been working? 2.5 hours? I've gotten 2.5 pages done. Yeah, and studios have more workers. Yes, in 2 hours, one animator can make, it depends on what process. Like, if you're doing the roughs or the animatics, 2 hours, you might be getting a few seconds of animation. But in 2 hours, for the cleanup art and the actual vectoring for the lines, 2 hours, you've maybe done 2 frames. Which is not much at all, honey. Since he's the only character in the page, it might make his outlines a little thicker, but we'll see. Does he have 2 or 3? He's got 3. Spent my whole week animated and I got 1 minute. Yeah. Yeah, well, what frame rate were you working at? Were you working at 12 or 24? Because it does make a difference. I've tried animating in the past. None of it is posted, so don't even bother going to look for it. And I think why my animation was turning out so wrong is because I actually was treating it like illustrations. I wasn't treating it like its own art form. I was treating it like, oh yeah, I'm just drawing illustrations for each movement. It's like, no, that's not how it works, darling. 12 wasn't very fast. Oh yeah, 12 frames. You can get a lot done in 12 frames if you do like smear framing or, just try to go for an animatic style first. I think you should try, if you're gonna animate, and I'm not an animator, so whatever advice I have about animation is probably bollocks. Just storyboarding and animatics. Just try that, because, like, set up where the camera is going to be, decide what movements are the most important, and then, you know, for the animatics, you just go from, it's just really your keyframes with maybe a few in-betweens. But then the animating is the actual in-betweens. And then the cleanup is what's really gonna kill you. Now, one animator, Ashley Nichols, she's actually a professional animator, and I love her. She suggested if you want to get into animation and understand how it works, you should try doing the cleanup. Because that's how she learned how to animate. Because then you see like the animation on top of it, and then you appreciate every movement, because the movement's already done. You're just rendering the lines to make them look clean for the cleanup and fixing, you know, animation errors and whatnot. But in order to do that, you need to have permission from, like, the original animator to work on their cleanup. So it's good advice, but you need, like, another animator, or you need to find some animation that someone has posted that is like, hey, this is free for, you know, whatever use, you know, or whatever. I think to learn animation, you should watch someone animate. Like, find an animator and watch their live streams on how they're animating, because then you'll appreciate every second of animation. Especially if you watch, if they animate on paper. Oh my god, those people are insane to animate on paper. Now, I've never animated, like, officially animated anything in my life. I've tried, but those weren't really animations, let's be honest. They were pictures that I put together at speed to audio. That's not real animating. There's an actual art form of animation. But despite that, I have concepts in my head for 2 fully animated shows. And it's gonna be a long time before those are published anywhere. Unless I get a bunch of people behind me. But they would have to, you know, it's like, how do you feel about doing all this man hours for free? Because I can't pay anybody. I'm in the red. Or getting enough people get interested and finally have the courage to start a Patreon. Which I've tried Patreon. I don't know how it actually works. It's like, let's not do Patreon. How about we just do donations? And then people just donate out of the kindness of their hearts. Less than $10,000, because I don't want to pay taxes. I don't want to deal with that. I don't know, does Kickstarter count? Like, do you have to pay taxes on Kickstarter? I know you have to write them off on your taxes, but do you have to pay for it? Because I don't want to pay taxes. I don't want to pay taxes to a government that won't give me the receipt for exactly where my tax money is going. I'm not going to pay for something that isn't going to benefit me. Which, you know, saying that makes me want to cancel all of my subscriptions to everything. Because, you know, I have a Disney Plus subscription. And it's draining me. But I have it because the family shares the account. And we all benefit from it, because we all watch. Mostly my sister. But it's like, she would probably stop using Disney Plus if I bought her the DVD pack of Rebels. But then she would still probably watch it because, I mean, our computers don't play movies or DVDs. So, but then she would watch it on the TV, and she could be out in the living room. Anyway, that's really the only reason why my sister watches Disney Plus. And, Bad Batch, but I'm, when season 3 of when Bad Batch is over, I'm gonna talk to my parents. I'm just gonna say, hey, I can't do this anymore. Unless we all chip in, because it's a family account. I'm paying for the family account. Then I'll keep it under my name and just tell people, hey, the bill came around. Bring out your dead, but I don't know, because Disney's been real shitty lately. I mean, they deleted X-Men. They deleted X-Men First Class and Days of Future Past. I'm just, what? Do you know Disney Plus? What? Wait, what anime? What anime? What anime does Disney own? I mean, okay. Star Wars Visions doesn't count. I don't count it. I didn't watch Star Wars Visions, and I never will because I hate the concept. I hate analog. Not analog. What's it called? When it's like the series is a collection of episodes that have nothing to do with each other and there's no continuity. Is that called analog or anthology? What is it? Because I can't do it. I mean, Love, Death, and Robots was fine, but they all had a similar theme. For Star Wars, I don't think it works because Star Wars is a saga, and it's about, this one family. Sure, it's in a big galaxy, but there's gotta be some continuity. I need continuity. Which is why I hated watching the What If series for Marvel. I mean, it wasn't... I liked the Ultron episode. And then they started being, continue being a little more continuitous. Because Ultron won and then started going after the Watcher. Because he gained that level of consciousness to actually discover him, and then found out about the multiverse, which I think the whole idea of the multiverse just needs to be retired. Am I the only one sick of the multiverse? Because, alright, I think the multiverse concept needs to die. Not go away forever, it just needs a rest. It needs to stop. At least for the meantime, so we can just focus on telling one continuous story in one timeline. We need to focus on paying our damn writers first before we decide multiverse and whatnot. Now, for Marvel, when they were doing the multiverse, because, what if Captain America was British? I actually haven't seen that episode, so I don't care. But the whole idea of a multiverse is now like everything needs to have a multiverse. Okay, there's this old series called Babylon 5, and it is the best sci-fi series I've ever watched. It is my favorite TV show. It's my favorite sci-fi TV show, second to Stargate. And Babylon 5 is about this one station where all the alien races of the galaxy can come together, and it's basically like Space UN. It's basically Space UN. And they come together, and, They talk out their differences, wars are waged, there's peace, there's fighting, there's tension, there's quiet, and then, the main cast is there. And it's very interesting. And then, just recently, they have announced that Babylon 5 is coming back! It's coming back in a series! Not a reboot series, but it's coming back! And and I was so freaking excited. And it's going to be animated. Most of the original voice actors are going to come back because they're still alive. I mean, 2 of them have since passed away, and it's really sad. But still, Babylon 5 was coming back. It was coming back. And then I watched the trailer for it. And it's about the multiverse. God damn it. How dare you ruin a good thing. I haven't watched it yet. So I'm not gonna say it's bad. But I don't have high hopes for it anymore. Because the whole point of Babylon 5, like one of the main undercurrent themes, was destiny. And it's about how everything we do is going to lead to this one moment where we defeat the shadows. At least that's what it was for the first few seasons. I didn't finish Babylon 5. I watched up to season 4. And yeah, that was the whole point of Babylon 5. It was their destiny to do this. To rise up. And become their own, to gain their own identity. Their own free will and whatnot. But then the miniseries, this new series is coming out. And it's about John Sheridan, who is the captain of Babylon 5. And, he became commander of Babylon 5 in season 2. Played by Bruce Boxleitner. I love him, but then he gets sucked into this one machine, quantuminium machine, and now he's being blasted across multiverses where different, alternate realities happen. Like one where he was never the commander, or where the shadows lost, or where no one knows who he is, and it's. Did we really need this? Did we really need Multiverse Babylon 5? Unless I missed something in Season 5 that makes this all make sense. But it's just, Yeah, you know how it's getting out of hand when the multiverse is everywhere. Please, someone just tell a continuous story. Can we have continuity, please? Which is why, for my own superhero comic, which I'm making because of Marvel and DC, I am making it canon in my own superhero comic series that the multiverse is impossible. In that world, it is impossible for the multiverse to exist because I'm so freaking sick of it. Everything that everything that is must be in that series. Everything that happens is. There's no going back. There's no changing it. And I think I figured it out. The reason why the multiverse is popping up more in media right now is because everyone wishes they could go back and fix it. That we could stop 2020 from happening. Or maybe there's an alternate reality where it didn't happen. Or there's there must be an alternate reality somewhere that, isn't as terrible as the one we live in. And it's another grass is greener effect, like I was talking about earlier with the space race. Why we know more about space than we know about our own planet is because we always think the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. But the fact is we are on this side of the fence. We're on this side of the fence. Everything we did, every action we take has a consequence. And we need to live with that. We have to live with that because if we don't, we lose our minds to a lack of accountability. We need to be held accountable for all our actions. And with the multiverse, it gives us the concept where some of our actions just don't have consequences because there's a multiverse elsewhere where it's fine, you know, where everything's good. It's like, you know, that's not... I don't know what the science is behind alternate realities, but I honestly think it's impossible for alternate realities to exist. Because it is impossible for two things to occupy the same space. And sure, it's technically different because alternate realities, it's not in the same space. But here's the thing, space and time are quantifiably kind of the same thing. Time is measured by where we are in space, and where we are in space affects time. So to have this idea of the multiverse is just wishful thinking on our own fucked up reality because we don't want to deal with the fact that we made the world that we live in. Our world sucks, and we made it that way. Not entirely that way. I mean, we didn't create cancer, but we created things that help propagate cancer, and we're helping propagate cancer even more by not fixing it and finding cures. And I know it's not that easy to find cures for cancer, but like I said earlier, there are people who have found better treatments than chemo and basic cures for cancer, and they were silenced. And it's just, I know I'm talking about superhero series and that they're not good anymore because all we are is focusing on multiverse and whatnot. The Loki show sucked ass, and I won't let anyone tell me otherwise. Now, I enjoyed watching WandaVision, but I do know there are problems with the story, but it's not because she was changing reality. That's part of her powers. That's what she does. So I was fine with WandaVision going that route, and it was really entertaining, and it was kind of like a film history thing for me. I liked it. But for everything else, I think, media represents what main society wants. And I think, what main society wants is a better life. And they feel like the only way to get a better life is to travel to a to a completely different reality where things are, different. And, we can create a whole new reality with what we're doing now. We have made the world the way it is. We can change it. We've done it before, and we'll do it again. We're doing it again right now. It might, the butterfly effect can be a little bit strenuous, when it comes to the full explanation, but every action we do now is going to affect our future in some way. In tiny ways, but in some way. Me streaming for 3+ hours, for almost 3 hours now, will change my life in the future. Either it's going to be a 3-hour-long video that people are going to enjoy and watch back later, and it's also gonna kill my voice, because my throat is dying right now, excuse me. But it's just this idea of the multiverse has come up. It's become more and more popular. It's because in writing, the only reason they came up with multiverse in comic books is because they would make certain arcs and characters would die, would be killed. Or they're like, oh, what if, one character was evil? And instead of making just one spin-off comic and leaving it, they kept going with it because they realized they wrote themselves into a corner and didn't want to deal with it. So they just went back and changed it and said, yep, here's a alternate reality, instead of thinking ahead and dealing with the consequences. Because we do it all the time in real life. We have consequences for our actions and we have to deal with it. So in media, we try to escape from it. But it also is stressing us because people think there's alternate realities. So they think, oh, if you mess with something in time, it'll affect other realities all across, the time-space continuum. Which, I mean, if time travel were possible, wouldn't we know about it by now? Wouldn't have someone done something? And then someone could make the argument that, oh, time travel is possible, which is why certain things, are the way they are, because someone went back in time and tried to change something and made it worse. And it's like, well, now you're just blaming someone else for something you can't control, for something you can't control. That doesn't fix the problem. You're just shifting the blame on why the world sucks. No, the world sucks is because we now, in the present and past, made choices. And whether or not they were good choices at the time, that's all subjective. But the fact of the matter is, they affect us. They changed everything. And there's no going back. So anyway, I think that, the multiverse in media, I think it's a tired concept. I think it needs to be retired. Or at least for now, until we get excited about it again. Kind of same with superheroes, I think. I mean, sure, there's 1,000 more comics that need to be, that could be movies or TV shows or miniseries or whatnot, or there's a whole not multiverse, but a whole plethora of interconnected stories that can be told. But the fact is, they've already been told in comic form, and just because they're in comics doesn't mean they haven't been told. They have been. They just haven't been told as a movie. And the thing with comics is they can't work as a movie unless you choose an arc. You see, like if you choose one arc, one continuity, then you can make movies for these superhero characters. That's why the Phase 1 and Phase 2 of the Marvel movies, the first Avengers movies were amazing because they chose one continuity. They chose one timeline, one continuity. Sure, they may have sprinkled in a few references here and there. And that was it. They made a story and they stuck with it. So characters were consistent, mostly, depending on, how your writing was. But there was an end game. Say what you will about the movie Endgame, it culminated, it was the end of an era. It culminated everything for the past 20 years of cinema, of Marvel movies, had ended up in this one moment. And yes, they did the time travel thing, which I'm on the fence about. And yeah, it was funny. They made plenty of funny jokes. And I did like it. I love Endgame as a movie. But I prefer Infinity War. Because Infinity War is, if we fail, there's no going back. And they failed. So then they created time travel and went back in time and fixed everything and made it so that it never, and then fixed, at least they went back to, their modern times and just brought everyone back instead of going back to just before they lost one and then fixed it so that it made it like it never happened. At least they went that route. Because if they went the made it so it never happened route, then it would have been really dumb. But because they went back, they went to their time where it already happened for 5 years and then just brought everyone back, then it created the displacements and whatnot and the blip, and that was interesting to deal with in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I don't care what anyone says, that is a damn good show. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is 1,000 times better than Loki and Wanda put together. I'm sorry. It just is. It just is. And it's not just because I have a crush on Bucky. Shut up. Just gonna save and then get started on the background. You know, you think in my hiatus I would have learned how to draw juniper bushes, because this is not a bush. This is a Dr. Seuss trucula tree. Sorry, I had to sign back in. Oh, that's fine. The stream will be back up on my channel after... sorry, my voice is going. I might have to calm down. That was a huge rant I just did. The stream will be on my channel after I'm live. So if you missed anything, don't worry, it'll all be there. I wonder, after a stream goes live, should I change the title to VOD? Because those seem to do numbers. I mean, I know, I hate to think about monetary value, but it is kind of what I want to do here. Because I'm technically not live anymore when the video goes live. So should I change the title to like VOD and then blah de blah? Which it's so weird for me to say VOD because that's Mandoa for brother. And it says, oh yeah, this is my VOD. I'm just, my brother? Yes, I know a little bit of Mandoa. I read fan fiction, okay? Get off my back. I feel the need to just say a random word. Yeah. You know, isn't that kind of an autism thing? Like, just the word feels nice to say, or it's just like in your head, so you need to say it out loud just to get it out of your head. I don't know, I feel that all the time. I don't know if it's just like, I mean, I know I have ADHD. I'm actually, diagnosed ADHD, but I don't know if I have autism, even though ADHD and autism are a little too similar to not be considered the same thing, in my opinion. I don't know, it's just kind of like saying eggs. That would be considered your STEM word. I don't know. I'm not sure what my STEM word is. I get movie quotes going through my head, and if I don't say them out loud, I go a little stir crazy. I don't know what it is either, so I couldn't tell you. Is it like the G sound? Or like the shape your mouth makes when you say it? Because I have a speech impediment to where I can't say soldier's shoulder. Like, SH sounds really trick me up because I always mix them up. And sometimes I mix up my my R's and L's, which is really weird because I'm not Asian at all. I know it's the stereotype, but it's true. They get it. Like, they have a hard time saying R's and L's. I also, any CH sound, ka, cha, or any hard sound is, gets me mixed up a lot because, I don't know what it is with my mouth, but saying words that have an S or a k or anything to do with the back of the throat, it's not fun for me to say because I actually have to think about what I'm saying. But, like words that come from the front of the mouth, like mouth, I never get that mixed up. TH words, tongue words. Tongue words, I'm fine with. I can say those words just fine. But, every other word is it's really hard for me to say. Sometimes I'll say random things and it drives my friends and family mildly crazy. They'll be like, what? Why did you say that? I'm like, Yeah. Okay. Copy, paste. The comic artist's best friend. Hold up, let me silence that layer so I can know where to put this stupid thing. There we go. I don't know how my family dealt with how weird I was. And still am. I don't know how they deal with it. I have a hard time dealing with myself. But anytime I asked about certain things, they're like, how did y'all deal with this? And I'm like, well, it was just you and it's how you act. It's just, yeah, but I wasn't ever annoying. You never just yelled at me to shut up, because I don't remember doing that. And the biggest fear for me is not realizing how annoying I'm being. That is one of my biggest fears, of being annoying and not realizing it. It's one of my biggest fears. Because then I get hyper aware of how I'm acting, because I'm like, am I being annoying? Oh god, I'm being annoying right now, aren't I? And people are like, no, that's just how you act. I was like, yes, but am I being annoying? That's not answering my question. You ever get, when you're tired all the day and you actually try and sleep but you can't? Or it's like your body is tired but your mind is like working overtime? Because that's happened to me before. And that's more annoying than a speech impediment, because you're like, your brain is trying to write checks your body can't cash. You have no idea how hard that was to say. That took 1000% of my concentration. Also, I'm not tired, but I haven't talked this much in a while, because I haven't live streamed in like 2 weeks, so which is probably why, with realizing when I just said about certain words being more fun to say and, harder to say for me, I don't mind speaking Hebrew, because, I'm Jewish, if you hadn't picked up on that. So I don't mind Hebrew. In fact, it's easy for me to say because every word is a hard C. But I also really like speaking Japanese when I can, or like just other languages. Like when I learn Japanese words, they're really fun to say, and they're really easy for me to say because I know how, I know how to pronounce their alphabet mostly. So, and their language is very front of the mouth, and you don't move your jaw very much. You like French? Oh, you... Oh. I don't hate French, I just don't like the French. I'll just blurt a word. Yeah. French is fun to say in, like, passing, but I would never want to learn French because I heard about their number system, and I can't do that. You've seen that video, right, with the New York cabbie driver, and he's like, I'm telling you, the way they count in French is totally bonkers, man. It's just... That was the worst Bronx accent I've ever done, so excuse that. I'm usually pretty good at a Brooklyn accent. Well, the Bronx isn't Brooklyn, is it? I don't know. I'm not from New York. My mom is, but I'm not. Well, okay, my mom's was from upstate New York. But still, yeah, I know the Brooklyn accent. If I gave it a try, I could probably pull a good one, at least a TV good one. But, you know, my voice is killing. My voice is shot. I can't do it. I also really I like some German. Because it's just so funny to me how one language can sound so angry. Even though they're they're saying, oh, what a lovely day. And it's like, it's just, jeez. Did someone spit in your coffee? What is this? Where's this anger coming from? And they're like, no, it's a lovely day. I'm like, okay, whatever you say, man. Which is probably why they're so angry, because everyone thinks they're angry. You know, I took my glove off just to get a drink, because I couldn't just reach with my drawing glove hand to get a drink. Muscle memory, it's lovely. These lines are too thick. Maybe they're just enthusiastic. Yeah, I don't know. This needs to be here. Okay, yes. I've just decided something for the comic story, and I can't tell you because it is a major spoiler. So yeah, I'm just gonna put a few more bushes. I don't know how to draw a sagebrush, so we will come back to this another time. Really? Come on, man. What's your opinion on FNAF? I love the original 4 games. Hold on, the original 6. Wait. Yes, I love the original 6 games. I love FNAF 1. FNAF 2 is a classic. I've never played it, and I probably never will. FNAF 3 was good. Frustrating, but it was good. FNAF 4 is terrifying. FNAF 4 is so freaking terrifying, but it's so good because it's actually scary. It's scary again, and I love it. Sister Location was just a fun time. You know, I've only played 3 FNAF games. The first one, Pizzeria Simulator, and Ultimate Custom Night. Because, you know, they were free and cheap. Sister Location was kind of like the dawn of a new era for Five Nights at Freddy's, because that's when it started being cheeky and funny. Every other FNAF game wasn't funny. It was very, you know, kind of dark and... Oh, that bush is under a text block. So, I like Five Nights at Freddy's overall. I am so pumped for the movie. However, what Steelwall is doing with the franchise, I'm not sure I'm on board with. I mean, FNAF VR would have been better if if they didn't have lore in it. FNAF VR would have been so much better if there was no lore, in my opinion. It just would have been. FNAF 3 Phantom Freddy spawned next to me and I thought I was gonna die, but it didn't jump scare me. It was just terrifying. Yeah, I know. Those phantom jump scares are really great because they just add to the tension and the because if they weren't there, it'd be kind of boring because it's just Springtrap. However, since they're also there depending on what you do with the cameras, and then you have to go reset some things, that just adds an extra layer of terror to a very simple game. And I gotta give credit where credit is due. Whatever your opinion is on Five Nights at Freddy's, it started an era. It inspired a generation of gamers and game makers. The fan games have most of them have been really good. Like Five Nights at Candy's was fantastic. I think it was one of the best fan games ever. Aside in those Bloody Nights, same with One Night at Flumpty's was really good. And, Scott Cawthon has kind of inspired me to, I have a FNAF fan game in the back of my mind that I really want to work on, but I don't know how to make games. And it kind of, what happened with the franchise, what the internet did to it is neither here nor there. But what Scott by himself did was nothing short of a miracle. Nothing short of just fantastic. So yeah, I gotta appreciate what was done with those games. Even though I only like a few of the games, and I've only played a few of the games. Now, I've only seen a few people start to play the DLC for Security Breach. But the whole bit with Vanny and Burn Trap and Glitch Trap, I'm sorry, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like where the franchise has gone. With the road AI being brought into the real world, I'm so... See, this is another example of why I don't like AI. I was around 6 or 7 and listening to... I love the FNAF music. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, I love the FNAF music. Oh, the ships suck, though. Yeah, I only have one ship. Like, if you... Gun to my head, you have to have a ship in Five Nights at Freddy's. For me, it would probably be Glamrock Chica and Monty. But that's just, gun to my head, you have to ship. I mean, they're children stuck in robots. They're not concerned about relationships. They are children hell-bent on vengeance because of the injustice that was done to them. Yeah, they're not gonna focus on, ships and whatnot. Now, back in the day when people still believed that the animatronics were just following rogue programming, and, the children thing was only brought up later, and it was still speculatory at the time, then the shipping, I wasn't so sickened by it. Because it was just like, oh, yeah, these animatronics, say what you will about their about who they were as a person, but Rebornica's art really got me into Five Nights at Freddy's. because it's just their interpretation of certain characters and whatnot was really just fun to me. The way they wrote the animatronics as actual characters and not just mindless robots and whatnot. They were actual characters, and that was very interesting. But now it's kind of bled into the main franchise. Well, not the main franchise, but like the main fandom, to where everyone writes the animatronics that way. Like, no one has written... If you're gonna have a Five Nights at Freddy's fan comic, I don't think anyone has written them accurately. But, I mean, that's just a personal nitpick. But yeah, the music kicks ass. Try Hard Ninja, Living Tombstone, GT5, CG5, good god, GT Music, and Sky Fixing. That music made me who I am today. I've never heard of Sky Fixing. And I'm a little disappointed that your list doesn't include DA games. Because DA games is, I think he's one of the best songwriters. I think he's one of the best on the internet. Now, The Living Tombstone, Try Hard Ninja, and I've only recently found the Bonnie song. Oh, Sky Fixing, the Bonnie song. The Bonnie, is that the one where he's like, it just isn't fair. The fox, the chicken and the bear, even the fox was treated better. There's something like that. My replacement is blue. He has the latest tech too. You know, is that the Bonnie song? Because I'm not sure what you're talking about. Oh yeah, they tore me apart. Yeah, that song. Okay, that was Sky Fixing. Okay, yes, I have heard them. That was pretty good. That was a pretty good song. But I think my favorite Five Nights at Freddy's song ever would have to be DA Games' We Want Out. That's just a good song in general, and it's a good song for the fandom. I think it summarizes the first game very well. It's very well done and well performed. But yeah, GT Music is always good. They're, I think of GT Music's FNAF songs, I think the second one is my favorite. Same with Join the Party. That one was really good. I think my favorite GT song is, oddly enough, their April Fool's Day song for Doom Eternal, the song for Daisy. That one was my favorite. That's my favorite GT Music song ever. DA Games was Break My Mind. Yeah, that was DA Games. DA Games was Break My Mind, Left Behind. Yeah, They also did Build Our Machine for Bendy and the Ink Machine, which I have my mixed opinions on that franchise. I mean, I liked the songs that were written for Bendy and the Ink Machine. Don't misconstrue it. But what the company, when it came out, all the information about what the creators were doing, that was pretty scummy, and it kind of broke my heart. Yeah, DA Games is really good. I actually own their Eternal Swing album, because all their songs for Bendy and the Machine were so good. And I remember following along with them when Bendy was coming out, and just being appalled at what the fandom was doing to them. Was demanding of them all the time. Where's the next Bendy song? Where's the next Bendy song? It's like, you can't just force creativity like that. You gotta just let it happen naturally. And if he doesn't have inspiration for a song, it's not gonna be written. And if it is written, it's not gonna be good. Oh, yeah. Chaotic Coyote, or Yeah, they're really good too. I really like, what's it called? You Can't Hide. That's one of my favorites from, that was them, right? Yeah. Yeah, people have to figure out their songs when they do. Yeah, so just hearing what everyone was saying was like, oh, where's the next Bendy song? Bendy, 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 Bendy. It's like, okay, Bendy isn't even that good of a game. Let's spill the tea here. Bendy and the Ink Machine is not that good of a game, and neither is Poppy Playtime. Poppy Playtime is a shameless cash grab, feeding off of the nostalgia of Bendy and the Ink Machine and Five Nights at Freddy's and all those other types of games. It is literally just a money bag. It's... Oof. They'll Keep Running is good. Yeah, that one is good. I think I saved that one. Who wrote, Too Far? The Michael song. Was that CK9? See? I know a future hidden stars, I just went too far. I love that song. Same with Afton Family. That one's really good, but I think that was a different artist, but both are really good. You know, despite being the main character, really, honestly, the main character in the entire franchise, there's not a whole lot of songs dedicated to or sung by Michael. I mean, there's been some Mike Schmidt songs, but that was back when we thought Mike Schmidt was his own person, but I think all the Night Guards are actually Michael, if you ask me. I think they're all Michael trying to find out what happened. Like, in Sister Location, that was Michael. And we have, like, songs written from the Night Guard's perspective, but none of them are, like, exclusively Michael. Except, Too Far. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one, the Afton Family. All stay strong, we live eternally. All is well in the Afton family. Punishment's found to pure insanity. All is hell in the Afton family. Yeah, that one. I can't believe I got the whole line art done. Holy shit. Oh, yeah, Jorge Aguilar. Wait. Is it Jorge? Anyway, is that how you pronounce? Is that Jorge? Because Spanish names. Oh. For CK9, was that for the Michael song Too Far, or was that Afton Family? Because I feel like Afton Family was someone else. Too Far felt like a CK9 song, and I think it was, just based on the art with the song. Yeah, it was. Alright, okay. What I'm gonna do now is I'm going to color the dialogue and the eyes, and maybe lay down the flats, and then I might call it there. Because my voice is gone. I'm gonna really be in pain. Unless I make some lemon tea. Afton Family was that person. Okay. Remade, but I'll have to go look it up, because I might have a very particular version in mind. in my head. So. Looking inside my mind, I see the truth. I was always the one who tormented you. This is my choice, my evil doing. And I died inside when you stopped moving. That's such a good song. Oh, bless you, puppy. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Oh, bless you. Oh. Oh, no. Are you okay? Oh, did you inhale a fuzzy? Oh. Poor puppy. Oh, he wrote, I can't fix you, but I don't know if he remade it or wrote it. Everyone says that was their favorite FNAF song ever, or the best FNAF song ever. But I'm not sure I agree. Of the Sister Location songs, I think I prefer... No, You Can't Hide was obviously the best Sister Location song ever. But Unfixable by DA Games slaps. Way harder than I Can't Fix You. I mean, I don't hate I Can't Fix You, but if I have to choose a FNAF song... Yes, 5 Long Nights. 5 Long Nights is pretty good. 5 More Nights is a little bit more enjoyable for me, because I like the sound of it, how it's like, hey kids! Any lyrics with a pun, with puns in it is good in my book. Really sounds. The last line of the chorus is a pun. Oh, what's your favorite Try Hard Ninja song? Because I really like Judgment for Undertale. That one's one of my favorites. But I love Daddy's Little Monsters, the female cover. I love that song. Same with You're Not Alone. Yeah, hey kids, you like violence? That's a really good one. But for Try Hard Ninja, I mean, I really like It's Me. That one's really good. Main Attraction is really good too. I love their Now This Is Goodbye or something like that, or was it just Goodbye? Their song for Five Nights at Freddy's 4 was also a collab between Try Hard Ninja and DA Games. DA Games sang in that song. Oh yeah, the Puppet Song. That's what it's called. Yeah, that one's really good. Follow Me is good too. But it's just something about Daddy's Little Monsters really kicks me in the face. And I love it. I love that song. Yeah, that one. that place is this very place, and all the stories are true. So I just, I really like Daddy's Little Monsters. That one really gets me. Because then you forget, yeah, they're children. Which is also why I really like, what was his name? CG5. I really like CG5's song, Like It or Not, and Labyrinth. Really get me. Dream Your Dream was okay. It wasn't my personal favorite, but yeah, it was pretty good too. Also, Dako wrote some songs. Granted, it was for Fazbear Frights, but Dako wrote some really good songs. For everyone knows Dark Desires. That one was really good. But I really liked the song he wrote for Lonely Freddy. The Lonely Freddy song. And of course, Into the Pit was really good, but the Lonely Freddy song I just really liked because of how happy and innocent it sounds. But then, if you've read the story, then you know, oh god. It's just more like impending doom. But yeah, there's a lot of FNAF fan songs. A lot of them slap. But of all the fandoms I've been in, I think Five Nights at Freddy's is the one with the most fan music. And it's Warriors. That's the one fandom I'm in with the most animation. And I was wondering, for every fandom, we have this thing that, we're known for, aside from the porn, of course. But, each fandom has something in abundance. The Warriors fandom has animation in abundance. The Five Nights at Freddy's fandom has songs in abundance. What does the My Little Pony fandom have? What did they make in abundance aside from, aside from the usual, the OCs, the art, and stuffed animals? What does My Little Pony have? Analyst videos. Now, I know there's a lot of theories and lore videos about Five Nights at Freddy's, but for My Little Pony... Oh, yeah, creepypastas. My Little Pony has a lot of creepypastas, and they are really good. I think most My Little Pony creepypastas are better than most regular creepypastas I've listened to. Yeah, it's just, just make Pinkie Pie evil. Have you heard, or have you read or watched the videos for Silent Ponyville? Those are some of the best stories I've ever listened to. Same with Something Sweet to Bite and the Apple Sleep Experiment. Apple Sleep Experiment is my favorite creepypasta to listen to. Hands down. It's the best one. Best written, best performed, the premise of the story is terrifying, and aside from the violence, I like stories or fan fictions that are plausible in the world that they come from. Because it's yeah, that is totally possible. But they also really freak me out because the Angel, what was it called? Angel of Death? No, Angel of Mercy. The Angel of Mercy creepypasta. Same with Butterflies. For Fluttershy? those were really good because I could see them happening. Like, they were completely in character. Which is why, you know, the Apple Sleep experiment was really good, because it was in character for Applejack to act that way. Same with Something Sweet to Bite. Most of them were, like, written in character. I'll watch it when you finish, because this isn't something to skip. Thanks. Yeah, I think My Little Pony has, of all the fandoms, they have the best creepypastas. Which is funny, because then you watch the show and you're like, what the hell? This from that? Oh yeah, Silent Ponyville. There's Silent Ponyville, Silent Ponyville 2 and 3. I liked the first two. I haven't finished the third one yet. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do the flats and then I'm gonna finish. Because my voice is gone. Well, it's not gone because it's still here, but if I don't stream tomorrow, it's because my voice died. But I should bounce back with enough rest and what's it? Yeah, I like this show, but if I'm being honest, the creepypastas are so cool. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I love the show, but the creepypastas were just phenomenal. And I really haven't been a part of another fandom that has that much creepypastas written for it. Or just fan fiction in general. I mean, technically fan fiction. Because a creepypasta is technically fan fiction if it's from if it's inspired by a franchise. I mean, like, Five Nights at Freddy's Five Nights at Freddy's is a horror thing, so of course it's not going to be, you know, have that many creepypastas, because it is a creepypasta. But at the same time, there hasn't been that many, like, fan series written, at least none that I've found. There's a few fan animations, but some of them are, like, they're not that great, in my opinion. Or at the very least, they're just, I mean, I don't know. Kind of meh. Well, I thought as well. I don't like how the gotcha cringes all like the steal anime characters and just use them as straight. Yeah. They're just not that great, in my opinion. And I mean, every franchise has their own fan fiction. You know, it's mostly ships or X-readers, which, don't ask me how I know all these. But, like, it's just to have that many stories inspired by a franchise that, you know, are completely original is just fantastic. And you know, technically, Five Nights at Freddy's does have creepypastas. They're called the Fazbear Fright series. That's basically our fandom's version of creepypastas inspired by the franchise. But those are not canon. Those are like official property. I haven't heard of any fandom stuff like that. You know, since Rebornica left the internet, we haven't really had any original fan stuff. Aside from songs and art and you know, costumes and whatnot, crafts, which, don't get me wrong, count, you know, they're very valid. But of all the fandoms I've been in, you know, each fandom has their own, like, claim to this is what most of the fandom is. Aside from the OC's fan art and porn, aside from that, in addition to that, every fandom, it's 9 a.m. where I live and the neighbors are mowing the lawn. Have you read Lucky Spark 42's comic over on T? I've never heard of them. I'll check them out right now because I'm done. Alrighty. I'm gonna save. Cat, go away. Alright. No! No, it's 1 a.m. You're staying inside. Sorry, my sister's cat is yelling at me, and she will go ignored. So, I'm gonna try and get through this. Thank you all so much for watching. Whether you were live or watched after the fact, either way, I love you. Thank you, Elizabeth, for showing up. And there was the other person, Chris. It was a FNAF comic called Consequences. I'll have to check. There were FNAF fan comics, sure, but I just never got into them because some of them were kind of problematic. Oh, it was there the whole time. Anyway, I'm gonna end it here, folks, because my voice is gone. Actually, I'm gonna erase this and then end it there. There we go. We're gonna end it here, yeah. I'm gonna live stream. I'm gonna be live streaming more often because I'll be working on the comic. Hopefully not for this long again, because my god, this is gonna kill me. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you soon. The comic, Paths to Brighter Stars, is back, baby. It's back. And it will be posted, I don't know what time, because I never have a set time, but it will be posted every Tuesdays and Thursdays for the rest of August and maybe most of September. So that's for sure. That's one promise I will be keeping. Alright. Bye-bye. Lucky Sparks 42 on